Good morning, people of the grid. It is just about lunchtime here. I'm headed for a meeting at the mall, of course, where there's coffee and it's nice. Yeah, I thought today we would have a little chat about electric vehicles. I know here in Canada especially, I think the US is a little more insulated, but we're starting to see the hit. Gas prices are going through the roof. In some provinces here, it's as high as $1.60 per liter of gas. Now in Europe, I know you guys pay even more than that, so I can understand there's a push to look for alternative types of source of energy or fuel, whatever, to push your cars around, and electricity is a great one. That's starting to happen here even more so as prices go up. We went through this back six years ago when we bought our Nissan Leaf. We saw gas prices going up and I thought, you know what, now is a good time as any to dive in. We got into an electric vehicle. So I'm going to share with you some of the reasons why it might be a good idea to get an EV and some of the things to consider, because there's still a lot of people that don't know a whole lot about what it's like to own an electric vehicle. Does it work in the winter? Do I have to do a lot of planning and thinking? What do I do when I run out? All of these things are still huge concerns, and for some people they're like barriers of entry. So we're going to smash through those barriers together, and I'll tell you about our experiences with electric vehicles too. All right, so if you're anything like we were, you're probably really worried and scared about, is this car going to work for us? Is it going to meet our needs? Is it going to run? Are we going to be able to drive it in the winter? The answer to all of that really simply is, don't worry about it. It's a car. Yes, it'll work. Yes, you can charge it anywhere. Yes, if it runs out, you can put more power in it. You'll deal with it. None of this is insurmountable. In fact, what we found is you can get anywhere you need to get to with the car. And we actually started with one of the lowest capacity cars on the market. See, our first car was a Nissan Leaf. It has a 24 kilowatt battery. It's decent. For around the city, it does everything we need. And in fact, it worked so well for us that we had a new rule in the house when we got it, which was, if the trip is doable in the Leaf, that's the car you got to take. So whoever was going further out, either me or Tammy, would get to use the Leaf if our errand or our meeting would take us the furthest from home. Because we realized it's the cheapest car to drive. It saved us so much money that we tried doing everything with the Leaf. And we pretty much did. The only time we couldn't use it is when we had to take all the kids out. We have 4 kids, plus Tammy and I is 6. The Leaf only sits 5. So other than that, we use that thing and still do as much as possible. That not only would the Leaf work for us, but a Tesla would work for us as well, because we had some trips that were longer range, took us out of the city. The experiment that we had in the Leaf and the proving ground for that vehicle paved the way for us to conclude that we're only going to be driving electric vehicles going forward. But here's an interesting thing that we've seen develop over the last 6 years since we've been driving electric. You see, when we got our Leaf, there was, in Calgary, 1 electric vehicle charger. Just 1. That was 6 years ago. Now, fast forward to 6 years later, and you see things like this. Chargers in malls, chargers at libraries, chargers in city parking lots. In fact, here in Calgary, there's about 50 chargers that we have access to for the Leaf and for the Tesla. In fact, for Tesla, there is 1 supercharger here in the city with another one on its way. The service center has charging infrastructure. Here at Chinook Mall, there's charging access for Teslas. It's just growing. Electric vehicles, they're more technology than they are vehicle. I mean, granted, there's a component of them, the tires, the axles, the mirrors, the windshields, the windshield wiper blades. There's the body. There's a component of it that is vehicle, but more importantly, there's a much bigger component that makes it run that is more technology based. It's not like the gasoline engine, which has its technology, but if you look at how far has the gasoline engine come through the last 100 years or 80 years versus how far have electric motors changed through the last 80 years, right? Technology is improving at a much faster pace on electric motors, and technology inside of electric vehicles is improving at a much faster pace. In fact, some of the updates that we get in our Tesla, which is right behind the red one there, we get updates every year that actually make the car better. You don't have that with traditional cars. Once you buy the car, that's the car you own until you dump it. With an electric vehicle, what we found is when you buy the car, that vehicle gets incremental updates that get better and better over time. It's quite amazing. Now, here's the thing that we've seen with technology. We haven't seen so much of a change with our first electric car. It was, I mean, the first mass-produced one by Nissan. I love it, the Nissan Leaf. We still have it. Our kids are learning how to drive in it. It's going to be Ethan's first car. Then it's going to be Amelia's first car. Then if it lasts long enough, it'll be Samantha's and Melissa's first car. It's great. It hasn't received any updates per se, but the Tesla has. So I'm in the Model S right now. We call it the Light Runner. We've seen some significant updates. Some early on, our autopilot came as an over-the-air update. All the hardware was in the car, but they were still tweaking the system and getting it to work properly. They just downloaded that to the car, and one day we had autopilot. And then we had better ways of parking the car. It can auto park and it can parallel auto park itself. All of these things came as software updates. The screen, the UI interface has just gotten better over the years. They've changed things, they've added things. All of that came as technological updates through the air. Love that. I mean, that alone has been a game changer. The other thing, with technology being a bigger part of the car than, the car, the maintenance on these things has been, for us, really, really low. Here's the most interesting part. When we jumped in with the Leaf, we jumped in because we believed at the time that gas prices, we saw them going up. It was crushing us. We were spending $12,000 to $14,000 a year on gas. And so our thinking was, we need to drop that price. We either just need to start riding bikes or find an alternate means to transport ourselves that doesn't cost as much. Now, being the car that we use the most, it's interesting the charge profile that we have on it. So let me give you the breakdown. So far, 44% of all of the energy that we put into that car, we do at home. That's home-based charging, 44% of the time. Now, we've driven a total of 140,000 kilometers, just about there. We're a little bit under. The rest of the percentages break down that 35% of the charging I get from a Tesla supercharger. That's pretty good. We get lifetime free supercharging with that. So that's road trips or business trips that we do, long distance travel. I charge at superchargers 35% of the time. And then the final remaining 21%, that's the charging that we do at public charging infrastructure, wherever, like at the mall, or if there's something available, if we go to a restaurant, or if we stay at a hotel and they've got chargers. That's 21% of the time. That breakdown, again, that just directly translates into money that we've saved on gas, but only 44% of the distance that we've traveled in that car has been paid for with our electricity from the house. The rest has been on the road, and that's been great. It's worked out really well. That was a bit of a surprise. Tammy's car is a bit different because she's more closer to home, so her charging profile, I think, is upwards of 75% of the charging is done at home. And again, it doesn't matter because it's so cheap. It's less than 2 cents a kilometer to drive these things. The Leaf is less than 1 cent a kilometer. Like, it's unbelievable compared to 15 cents to 25 cents for gas, our gas vehicles. Wow. That's kind of my thoughts on this whole electric vehicle thing. And if you watch my channel here, you probably know that I'm quite partial to the Teslas. Love it. I love the autopilot. I love auto steer. I love all the technology. I've been really happy with the car. It works for us. I also love the Leafs. That was our first electric car. We loved it so much. We bought out the lease and we kept it. And, would I buy another one of either one of them? Absolutely. I certainly would. We're sitting here at baseball. It's freezing cold.
It is cold.
Earlier, Tammy was at the university with Samantha. She did a whole bunch of stuff, hey? Climbing and everything.
Tried a little bit of everything.
Check that out.
She did awesome.
Check that out right here. Here. But now we're still freezing here at baseball. This is not baseball weather.
It is actually in Alberta.
No,
There's
it
no snow.
shouldn't be.
It's a good day.
Like my hands are cold. Pretty much any Canadian sporting event involves Tim Hortons. So I got a tea for myself, a tea for Tammy. We got a coffee, double for the coach. And these are always a big hit, Timbits. The middles of the donuts. They come in a box of 50. I think 40 or so ought to make it to the kids. The rest of them get lost along the way. Our team won. Oh yeah. Well, hey guys, we are back home. Baseball game is done. Coffees are drank. Everybody is all warmed up. We froze our butts off out there. Hope you like my thoughts and commentary on purchasing an electric vehicle and some of the considerations. If you do have any questions, put them in the comments below. This is a back and forth thing. I'm happy to answer any questions for you. This is Amelia, our baseball player. We are very proud of her. She won a game. Her team won. Yay. You know what? I was cheerleading today. This is the first time I cheerleaded at one of their games, and they won. Coincidence? I think not.
We did good though.
It's because I was cheerleading you. That's why.
Okay.
You did really good. I'm proud of you. All right, we're calling it a night. Hope you guys had a good Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Woohoo!
Yeah, she looks like. Go Amelia.